morning, everyone. This is Julie McDonald with Microcom Technologies, and I'd like to thank all of you for attending today's webinar with ReadyNet Solutions. Today's host is our good friend, Bill Pedersen, and he is their Voice Product Director and will be presenting today. If anyone has any questions, please submit them in the question box, and Bill will answer them at the end of today's presentation. Bill, thank you so much for joining Microcom again today. We greatly appreciate it and looking forward to what you have to share with us today. I am finished for now. Please go ahead and take it on over.
Awesome. Thank you, Julie, and thank you for the nice intro there. And thanks, everyone, for joining today's webinar that we've got going. And I think you're going to find this pretty fun and exciting, and maybe also rewarding as a new product or a new revenue stream for your company or business. We're going to talk about voice services today, and in particular, some new products that we have brought online. But before we do that, you can see my my browser, and I'm just going to scroll down here just a little bit before the teaser, but you're going to see ReadyNet and Flying Voice here on your screen. We are very, very proud to be working with Flying Voice. Flying Voice is ReadyNet's factory in Thailand and in China, and we are super excited to have this partnership with them. And what it does is it's going to allow us to bring new products into the United States and Canada, but we also have the distribution rights for CALA, Central America and Latin America as well too, for IP phones. And you kind of probably wonder, oh, great, there's another IP phone out there. Well, the one we're going to talk about today is very unique and has a really unique application for it, and could open up a new market segment, or what I should say, a new vertical in your business if you're not already touching it today. But yeah, go to Flying Voice, or not Flying Voice, ReadyNetSolutions.com, and you can read our full announcements there for our relationship with Flying Voice and the phones and products that we're bringing in. And as I scroll down, there's a little video, but here's the teaser part that I want to get to, is the phones that we're bringing in. And we're going to talk about this one today. This is the big button telephone. It's a white phone. Whoops, sorry. I don't know if I'm going to keep that over there or not, but if not, we're going to go to the product page. In fact, let's just do that. From navigating from the top here, you just go to VoIP phones, and we're going to come right down to this one right here, the FIP 12WP. And I'm going to turn my levels down a little bit. It sounds a little hot here on this end. But this is the phone that has taken off very well for us. And you got to say, okay, what's so unique about this phone? It's more designed for our elderly folks that need maybe a little bit bigger button to push, bigger numbers to be able to read on the phone, and a larger display to read as well. And where we're seeing this taking off at is in retirement communities, assistive living facilities is the big one that's really running with this, where they provide a phone service within the resident's home or the resident's place that they're staying at. And so this is super exciting because the connectivity is really unique. This has built-in Wi-Fi. And so we can actually bridge this phone without an Ethernet cable to the existing Wi-Fi network within the facility. So all I really need to do is just plug this phone in and connect it to the wall outlet for power. Comes with a little wall wart power supply for it. And I can provision this phone to register on that Wi-Fi network and eliminate cables. It makes it easy. I can move it around from room to room. Or what I tell people is get two phones. One phone for the common area, might be in their common area of their residence, and then one for their bedroom as well too. And what's really nice is this phone has a really nice big display, really easy to read characters on the DTMF pad, and also a backlight on the display as well too. So it really brightens up, so it makes it easier for those that might have some visual impairment that they can see this. It does support PoE. It also has a what I would call a LAN port as well on the back of it, so I can do IP pass-through through it and maybe plug in another device on this. So if I am plugging directly into the Ethernet into the WAN port of this, I can actually plug in maybe that secondary device, maybe as an IPTV or something, or some other device, a computer or something that needs Ethernet internet connectivity in that room as well too. So it is a black and white LCD display. It does support 2 SIP accounts. So if you have more than one registration, we do support that. Again, you'll see the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi registration on there, the Opus codec support, fast Ethernet. So it's going to be just 10100 on the LAN and WAN port. And for voice, that's perfectly fine. 3-way audio calling, 4 DESI keys, and you'll see these DESI keys are identified right here as A, B, C, and D, and those are programmable, and I'll show you a little bit more on that as well. It's got an adjustable stand, or it can be wall mounted as well. Supports up to 2,000 numbers in it. And of course, you know, IPv6 is needed. But as we scroll down here, I've got one sitting on my desk, and this is probably the most realistic display that you're seeing right here. That is almost exactly what that display looks like when you scroll through it. It's black on white, and it's very bright and easy to read. Now, this display is also adjustable as well too. So if it's too bright, it will go to sleep and it will automatically dim. And so it's not this big glowing device on the counter during the middle of the night. So when it's not in use, it will dim. But as soon as you pick up the handset or start dialing numbers, you will be able to see exactly what's going on the display with it. Voice quality, of course, HD voice. The large buttons, as you can see, makes it real easy to see the DTMF pad, but also it is easy to push as well too. And then you'll notice the ABC buttons and the help button. Those are programmable, so you can set those up as speed dials for family members. We have applications where it just in an assistive living facility, let's say A and B might be for family members, C could be for the front desk or front office. Help could be, you could program it to the nurse's extension or 911. That's, whatever you feel that your customers' needs are, you can. You've got a home button, you've got voicemail on there. You can pause or you can increase and decrease the volume both on the speakerphone and the handset. And yeah, really simple, real easy to use. Here's the part we're talking about on Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi to LAN we support. So once you have this device registered and online, you can still use the LAN port and pull a public or an IP address. What I'm trying to say, pull an IP address to get internet on a computer, get it on a television, whatever you might need. So if we take up one LAN port for the phone, we're going to give you one back as well too. Wi-Fi to AP. So like I was saying earlier, you can deploy this on existing access points in the facility, in the office, in the home to help shorten up cables or to eliminate some of the cables as well. And that's actually a pretty neat little feature to be able to do that. And all we do is during the provisioning, you just do a search for the access point. You can actually do this from the screen as well. Once you find the access point that you want, go ahead and select it. It'll ask you for the passphrase. You go ahead and enter that in through the DTMF keypad. And once that's entered in, it'll then register onto the network, and your voice services will register as well too. We also are providing Tier 69 for this product for remote management for yourselves. If you are a voice service provider today, you might have your own Tier 69 server, or you might have your own auto provisioning server, and we can get you information on that to support that. This is a really, really great product. It's got a super loud speaker on it, so when you're in speaker mode, you can hear intelligible, crystal clear audio through it, and the microphone is really good as well to pick up audio as well if they want to use the speaker phone functionalities on that. Great product. I know someone's going to ask about price, so I'll try to pull up pricing here and see. If I remember right, dealer price on this is around $85 on this product. So comes with the 1-year warranty on parts and labors. I do want to kind of show you, here's kind of the login screen. Once you can see it, I've got a failure on this one. I'm just doing some playing around. But if I go to the phone settings, here's my, I can customize just about anything based on rings for different calls that come in. Kind of nice. You can distinguish, maybe a family member that might be calling in from just a regular call or maybe a front desk call. Here's where you program those line keys. We call them just key 1 through 4, and you can actually label it as whatever you want as well also. Network information is pretty straightforward. We're just DHCP. Here's our wireless. If we need to enable the radio to always be on, you can turn that on. Now, this is probably a really good segue for this break off a little bit. If you find ReadyNet's and Flying Voices phones ideal, and you have a real application for customers but you want to set up a specific configuration, so you don't have to always go into these phones and manually do it, we can work with you and work on a configuration file. And so when the phones check in, they can automatically download that configuration. So if we need to redirect our provisioning server to you and your server, we can redirect this, and then you can load your configuration files for that site or for that application or for whatever needs you are. I mean, however you want to set this up. Then the phone, once it hits your provisioning server, can grab that configuration, which could also include the SIP registration information as well. And so it would have all that information available in there, so the device will automatically register as well too. And so let us know if that's something that you would like to work, that you need some assistance on. Basically, what we do is we take all the changes or the things that you need to add to this configuration, and we have some software that can strip down all the unnecessary stuff and then create a config file specifically for this phone for your application and send it back to you, and let you play around with it and make sure it works and make any tweaks or necessary changes that we need to. And so that'll help from a provision. If you're talking maybe a handful of phones, might not be too difficult to register, or provision a few of these phones. But if you've got 50, 100 or something like that, that's something that you might want to consider. So we throw that out there, let you play around with it. If this is something of interest and you would like more information, please reach out to your account manager, and we can work with you and get you a sample of the phone sent to you so you can play around with it and see if it meets your needs. More than glad to do that. And Julie, with that, I think I've covered everything here on this. I'm going to throw it back to you, and let's open it up for any questions that there might be out there.
Thank you so much, Bill, for that wonderful presentation. And I definitely have some questions for you. Let's get started with the first one. You talked about the target market for this big button phone being like retirement or assisted living communities, which, you know, obviously looks really great for them. How about anything perhaps? How about maybe hospitality? Just wondering what you think about that, or if the phone relays itself to that.
Yeah, hospitality is a great environment, or even where you have community centers as well. And maybe they, you know, you can use these as, you know, just a simple, you know, convenience phone is what I would call it, a lobby phone or something like that. You could set that up in a you know, maybe in a medical office. You could set these up as their you know, lobby phone in a medical office as well too. So there's a lot of applications that, you know, where you might have elderly or folks that you know, would benefit from something like this. And that really is the target audience. What we're really seeing today, and a lot of activity, is in the assistive facilities, assistive living facilities, and care facilities. The other thing is too, and I'm not going to say one, take it as it is. I'll just say it as snowbird areas, Florida, southern parts of the United States, where, you know, you get a lot of people that come down. That's a huge target audience, and that's where we're seeing a lot of these phones going to. Not that we don't have any elderly up north, but those that want to, you know, come down, and maybe they got a condominium in Florida or something, or in Texas. You know, great application. Talk to these building administrators and get in with them, these facility managers and that, and all you have to do is show them the phone and they'll go, that is pretty cool. And so that's usually the end, because you can't find this type of phone. This is a custom phone for a specific market, for a specific group of individuals that it's targeting for. And there is a big market for it. I'll put it that way.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Bill, for going into some more detail about the big button phone. It sounds great. Next question here for you. You talked about the display and interface of this phone. Can there be any customization options?
Yes. Repeat that first part again one more time for me, Julie.
Sure. You talked about the display on the phone, and the question is, do any of the options include any customization?
Yeah, today they don't. It's pretty much straightforward. It's caller ID information, your line key information, so you know which line you're using, and you know, just kind of the navigational things for call history and menu options that you could go through and scroll through. It also shows Wi-Fi. But yeah, there is some works on even taking this phone to the next level for hearing impaired as well.
Oh, excellent, because my next question could be related to hearing impaired. The question is about the audio quality, and is there anything that supports that? You know,
Yeah.
maybe they can be louder, or anything for audio support.
Yeah, so the handsets are what they call hearing aid approved. So they're compatible with hearing aids. So they do enhance the audio through the earpiece for hearing aids for hearing impaired. It does use HD audio, so that's going to give you more full bandwidth audio. So you're going to have a larger spectrum of audio from, I think it's down to 300 hertz all the way about to, oh, don't quote me on this, but it's, I think, about 4,000 hertz. So you get the full audio spectrum that we typically hear. It's not your standard audio that you would hear from a traditional analog handset. So, and then of course you've got volume controls as well to increase or decrease the volume in the handset and in the speakerphone.
Excellent. Thank you, Bill. Next question here for you. Are there any special requirements or considerations for setting up this phone in an office environment?
Not really. If you have your own switch, or if you're working with maybe your white labeling services, you can reach out to us and we can get you some information on that. But yeah, I'm going to use the term BroadSoft because everyone knows it's BroadSoft, but Cisco approved, it's Asterisk approved, and a lot of times you'll just go to your provisioning server, and as you set up the device for that user, when you do your device identity for that user, you can just pull up and you'll see the model number of the phone. So, and you just go ahead and associate that with the end user. If you don't have that, definitely reach out to ReadyNet and we'll work with you to get that information.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Next question here for you. How does the Big Button phone handle firmware updates and security patches to ensure ongoing protection?
Yeah, great question. All of our provisioning is done through RN Control, and management is done through RN Control. And so with that, you can register these devices in RN Control for your company. There is a cost associated to that. We should probably do another update on that in a future video. But you'll have the options there to do your firmware updates on the phone if needed. So we leave that to you. We work with you. You'll always find under support for our products that I'll just grab one here. For instance, here you'll see all of the latest firmwares where you can download them. And if you've got your provisioning server or management server, you can actually download the firmware updates and have them scheduled out accordingly on your needs. So, but yeah, for firmware updates, they can be done manually or through any type of management service application.
Thank you so much for that, Bill. I appreciate that. Last question here for you. Regarding these Big Button phones, do any other manufacturers, I'm guessing there may be at least one or two, but there's a lot of phone manufacturers out there. Do they make Big Button phones and have all the features that ReadyNet has?
Yeah, great question. I have seen other Big Button phones out there. I'm not aware of a Big Button IP phone. I've seen them as analog phones, and you'll see those day in and day out, like at your Office Max or your home Best Buys or whatever. I have seen Big Button phones from the analog perspective, but not from an IP perspective. And I haven't seen any Wi-Fi enabled Big Button phones at all.
Wow, that's great. That's great. So it sounds like you kind of have an edge on this phone.
Yeah,
and
it's a great opportunity. Yes.
All of the features. Fantastic, Bill. Thank you so much for answering all those questions for us today. And thank you to everyone for attending today. And if anyone has any further questions, please feel free to contact your sales rep or email us at sales@microcomtech.com. And if you wish to view any of the products mentioned and shown here today, please remember that this presentation has been recorded and will be uploaded to our Microcom YouTube channel so we can all view it again. Bill, thank you. Appreciate it. And we will have the next webinar with you in the not too distant future.
Awesome.
Always appreciate it. Okay, terrific.
Yes, thank you, Julie.
You bet. Everyone have a fantastic day.